Hi everyone, welcome back to HEDGE Art Gallery. We're glad that you've chosen to join us virtually via our YouTube station, and we hope that you are able to share this video with others who aren't able to make it in person right now, which we completely understand. But we are so excited to be presenting Sarah Curry's new exhibition of paintings, drawings, and prints here at the gallery. The work is on view until December 4th. And I'm so happy to be sitting here with Sarah Curry too, our exhibiting artist. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
We're going to talk a little bit about the work, and we're going to take you through the exhibition. Just remember that you can always go to our website and you can view every single piece of work that's in the show online. And you can also connect with us. We're happy to make appointments if you can't visit us during normal business hours or during the events that we host. So stay in touch and stay tuned. So, Sarah, tell us a little bit about making these three really poignant bodies of work. I know they're all about teenage girls and their lives and how they develop, but each series has a different story that it tells. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure. Well, I've been working on this body for about 3 years now, and it started with a Google survey that I gave to some of my students. That's an anonymous survey asking girls about their lives as teenagers and what it's like navigating this very difficult time, and they're bridging between being a child and an adult and the pressures that are put on them, as well as the joys and the excitement of this time. So I received an incredible amount of information, and processing that has taken many different forms. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the work that has come from that deals with a mystery, as we all understand teenage girls to fall within certain parameters of our own experiences with them. And so a lot of times it shadows how we feel about them, good and bad, mm-hmm. and our own personal experiences as women, what that time was like for us. So the work itself is intentionally somewhat vague. So we come with our own understandings and our own experiences, but then it's also offering maybe a different perspective of these girls. So this is never an issue of me posing them in a certain narrative in my own head, but more photographing them and letting them interact with one another, and then me taking those images back to my studio and drawing and trying to figure out what kind of a narrative I can leave open enough for us to interpret it for ourselves.
Wow. Well, I think one of the biggest joys that I've had, not only, hanging the show and being a part of your studio experience as you've created it, is seeing the amount of students that have actually come out to the gallery to experience it and to talk with these people that are, some of them have graduated high school already, some of them are in art school or they're pursuing art education degrees, some of them are still in your classrooms. And I know we're probably going to hear from a few of them this evening, which is so exciting. But I think that seeing themselves in your incredibly detailed and beautifully colored paintings gives them this sense of self that's all of a sudden elevated. Did you know that was going to happen? Did you hope it would happen?
Sure, yeah. I definitely hoped for it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could have ever anticipated that rush of emotions and being a witness to them seeing themselves in a painting, in a gallery, mm-hmm. with people around, and that joy of and pride, and their direct commentary was, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm in this painting. I can't believe that you think I'm important enough to put in your work. And I was a mess and crying through the whole thing, and just watching them react and finding their friends as well. And they're not all my students. Some are my good friends' daughters as well, or my
Right.
neighbors and their daughters. So it's been a great way to get to know other girls that are kind of outside of my spectrum in the classroom, and bridging that gap and giving them an opportunity to say, yes, you're important. What do you want to say? Do you have a story you want to tell? I'm here to kind of give that story voice if you're willing to share it with me. And it's been an honor that they are trusting enough of me with their image, and
Right.
that their parents are involved with this as well, because obviously they're minors. So we had to go through a process of, this is what I'm going to do with your images, and are you comfortable with this, and make sure that they have signed off on it before I even start taking photos of the girls, let alone
Right.
actually depicting them in these images.
Yeah,
So.
it's such a detailed process to get to this final product,
It
to get to all of this.
It has.
This
It
work.
feels really great to be at this stage where it's all up as one body, but it also feels like it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
I mean, working with teenagers for the past 20 years has been very cathartic for me. I mean, I was miserable in my teenage years as a girl and trying to figure out who I was and drawing lines in the sand, and I know I'm not this, but I know that I'm this. And you know, that time is so tumultuous, and it was so difficult for me now to be back and view it through the eyes of an adult and give these girls an opportunity to talk about it and to really, like, I feel your pain, hardest time of my life, wouldn't go back for $1 million. I would never want to be in that situation again. But now it's also given me, I think, a knowledge and a true empathy for them. And so the older I get, the less close in age I am to these young girls. So this was also a way for me to really understand how their lives have changed. And I used to be closer in age to my students, and now I'm the age of their parents. So after 20 years, I felt like I was kind of fading into the background and that they weren't sharing as much. So this has really provided a great reciprocity with my students and myself.
Well, like I said, I'm really looking forward to meeting more of them tonight. We're doing a gathering this evening with the parents and a lot of the students that are part of these incredible paintings, and so you'll probably hear from some of them as well. Sarah, thank you.
Absolutely.
It's always a pleasure to work with you. And again, thank you everyone that's watching and taking the time to explore Sarah Curry's work online. We'll see you soon, hopefully.
So, what do others estimate about you or teen girls in general? I think the main thing that people underestimate about teen girls or just like young women in general is the emotional intelligence that we actually have. And that's why I feel like we feel everything so heavily, and there's this kind of like social pressure that surrounds like growing up and being in high school especially. And I think it's because teen girls have the kind of emotions that you think that people wouldn't develop until they were like in their late 20s. And we're all just walking around with all of these feelings whether that's negative or positive, and I think that causes a lot of clashing, but that's also what makes us so interesting, makes us so beautiful. That's what I think.
Okay, so the question that I got asked was, how do I feel about seeing myself and others depicted in the art gallery? Honestly, it feels weird, like seeing my picture up, and but it also feels exciting. It makes me feel like I get to show myself to other people, and they love her work. All of her work in here is beautiful, and her sitting doing these, I got to talk to her about it, and it was just amazing on how she depicted teen girls in high school and the situation that goes on, because it's a lot of people that don't understand what teenage girls go through, and it's refreshing that she can capture it in a picture and show people.
How do you feel seeing yourself and others depicted in the galleries? It's like insane for me to see like myself from someone else's point of view, because when you like think about yourself, you have this stigma like this is what I look like, this is how others see me, but then like to see yourself actually and your friends depicted from someone else's point of view when you've had like the same point of view about them your entire life, it's just really like weird, and it's like I'm like, that's not me. Is that like what I look like to other people?
How do you feel seeing yourself and others depicted in the gallery?
I really like seeing ourselves because these were painted a few years ago, and I think we've matured and changed, and it's nice looking back to seeing how we looked.
I agree. I really like seeing how we've become older and more mature, and how some of us are still friends and aren't friends, and just the way we've changed.
Are you looking forward to growing out of your teen years, and why? No, because it's just like there's so much like when you see all the movies about like growing up, and it's like it's the process of growing up. It's not actually like reaching the adult phase. Like that's boring because then you got to get a job and stuff. Like even with school and stuff, like it's just like the process of growing up that's so fun, and I don't want like that to end.